Hey, how we doing, world? Mr. Seller or Mrs. Seller? It's Devonta Arrington over here, Veteran Home Realty. Uh, Let me go ahead and turn up the volume just to be 100% sure. I'm actually outside right now and I got the traffic going, so I want to make sure you're able to hear me. Okay, so this video is going to be what contract I use to buy your house. Right, so bring up my little contract right here. It's called the option to purchase real property agreement. So I like to use the word option to purchase, and this is the contract I use to buy hundreds and hundreds of houses. Whether I'm doing a lease option, lease purchase, land contract, or straight cash out deal, or straight finance deal with a loan. So the option to purchase right here, and it's probably my favorite contract to use because, like I said, you can use it for multiple contracts. So let me see if I can. See if I can, edit. Tools. Oh, geez. Yeah, that's just kind of a little headache. Okay. I'll have to go back into that maybe another video. Here, my name would go right here, Veteran Home Realty, and or assigned as buyer, and Mr. or Mrs. Seller, so this is yourself, the property address, and the offer. Buyer has the option to buy property at the price, which is $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, or $1 million. We'll put the price right there. Period. So this period is the day that I have to find a buyer. Find a buyer in my database, or if I'm using the agent, we agree on a number of days. Typically, I like to do 30 to 60 days. Maybe as long as possible, because with these contracts, I'm actually not tying you up until I find a buyer. So you're free to go ahead and market for as long as you possibly want to until you find your own buyer. And I'll go into that right here in a second. So provisions: seller understands that the buyer's intention is to find an end buyer and assign his option agreement to that end buyer for a fee. So again, if I haven't explained to you on the phone already, a lot of properties that I do buy, I do use my own cash. Some I use with a VA loan, or some I find another buyer for. And typically, if I'm not looking to acquire any inventory, I do utilizing my buyers list. That's agent's buyers list or my own personal buyers list. And I obviously agree with you on whatever price we agree on, and whatever price I can get with my buyer would be the difference. So, perfect example, if I can agree to get the property from you at $230,000, if I can agree to get the property from you at $230,000, and I know the difference in this. I'm just, making it more visual for you. And let's say that I, find a buyer that will pay $240,000. And my difference in my fee is the $10,000. So again, I'm not taking commission from you. A perfect example, if you were to sell at an agent price or agent's commission, the agent would be taking 13.8. Obviously, minusing that with the price that you want, and then closing costs and everything. So you take that right off the top, the agent's commission right off the top, and you go ahead and add the closing costs and then the taxes you have to pay. So you're looking at even more money. And we'll go ahead and make another video touching on that topic. So, seller understands that buyer is acting as a principal in this transaction and not working as a licensed real estate broker representing anyone in the transaction. So, pretty much, I'm not working with a broker. I'm not under a broker. I'm acting as a sole principal in this transaction. There's no one else to be paid besides me and my company or people that work under me. Or if there's an agent involved, then that money that I do receive is actually coming, that I do pay them is actually coming from my own pocket, not being stipend out of your fee or out of what you stand to make from your house after the sale. Upon buyer's decision to exercise this option, both parties agreed to move forward with the necessary standard purchase and sales agreement. So again, this option to purchase, is pretty much just to get the ball rolling. I pretty much get this property under contract with you. I send it to the attorney. It's waiting there in escrow for me to go ahead and find a buyer. And this is pretty much so the attorney can go ahead and pretty much understand all of the necessities of the information of the property. They need to know the property address, what price do I get it, how long did it take to close, who's the parties involved. They need to know those, any seller additional comments. So they need to know all this information to kind of get the ball rolling. So seller may cancel this agreement at any time if they find their own buyer with an executed contract before the option is exercised. So again, where it behooves you to get under contract with me or get under agreement with me is that I'm not listing your house. So, you're able to find your own buyer. I love telling that to sellers because, if you go ahead and find your own buyer, then please go ahead and sell. You're not under any obligation to sell your house before I find a buyer. You can go ahead and sell your house, and this option agreement is not going to prohibit you or stop you from selling your house. So, you have nothing to lose at all by getting under agreement with me. If you out there on Realtor.com, Trulia.com, ForSaleByOwner.com, Fizbo.com, AnyZillow.com, and you're out there, you're pumping away trying to find a buyer, and you find one, good for you. Good luck on it closing. I'm happy for you because if you're able to sell your house on your own, you should be able to do so 100%. So seller agrees to allow buyer to put sign in the yard advertising the property for sale. With this one, if you're selling it retail, then if you already don't have a property sign in your yard and you're looking for like a cash out, you want all the money out of your house, then I'm pretty sure you already have a sign in the front yard. If you don't, then I can obviously go ahead and put the sign in the front yard. You use a lot of these signs for the lease purchases I do, owner finance, lease purchase, down payment, no credit check. Those are the signs that I do use in the front yard because those are adamant on having in the front yard. So that's what I do for the sign. And like I said, if you have your own sign in the front yard already, then it's not necessary for me to put a sign in the front yard. Okay, so if buyer does not acquire an empire to assign this deal within X amount of days of acceptance of this option agreement, this agreement becomes null and void. So, like I said, we agree on a purchase price and a number of days for me to close. And if it doesn't close, then this agreement is null and void. No harm, no folly, no problems. So we can agree to extend the contract, write up another one, or we can just go our separate ways as friends. Obviously, we want to close on every deal possible, but if not, there's no hard feelings. All parties agree that the property is sold in as-is condition, unless noted otherwise. So, when you're dealing with me, I'm not going to require any contingencies. Besides, if I don't find a buyer, it's null and void. I'm not going to require an appraisal, an inspection process, or anything like that. Typically for my buyers, it's up to them to do their due diligence. If they want to get an inspector, if they want to go ahead and get an appraisal, it's up to them. Typically, I do my own title search to make sure, especially if it's a lease purchase, to make sure that everything is focused. Make sure that the title's good, and that if we do end up doing some work, hold on a second. Yeah, to make sure that if we do some work on a lease purchase, that the title is clean, and that there's not going to be any blowback for taking over the property or doing the lease purchase on it. So right here, seller added comments. If you have anything to add, if you so desire that there's any damages or repairs that need to be done in the house, you can go ahead and add it, or whatever you feel your heart desires. But then again, like I said, we are taking it as is condition. So then right here, you're going to put your signature, put the date, sign again, put the date. And then if we're dealing with any fax or email, I'll go ahead and let you know what email to send it to or what fax to send it to. But if you've already contacted you on the phone and talked, I already gave you my email, gave you my phone. And if we need any additional instant information, I'll give you a fax number to go ahead and fax the contract back to, or any further work that we're doing. So right there is the option of purchase. Relatively short and sweet. So this is attorney approved. I use this for the majority of all my closings. If you have any doubts or anything, you can go ahead and take this to your attorney, or and you can go ahead and see if it is acceptable for your signing. I have no problem with that at all. So if you need an attorney to review it, go ahead and do it, and get back to me. But this is the option to purchase. This is what we use. Very short and simple. And this is just the explanations of how we go through the process. So go ahead and feel free to reach out to me, veteranhomerealty@yahoo.com, 920-903-2941. Thank you and have a blessed day.